Well, good afternoon. I'm still not used to saying good afternoon instead of good morning. Welcome to the Lake Chapala Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Lynn Cleek, serving as today's service associate. This afternoon, Reverend Matt Alspaugh will share our message. We're so glad you're here. Whether you come seeking connection, inspiration, or simply a moment of peace, may you find within this gathering a sense of belonging, and may your spirit be nurtured by what you discover here. Our opening words this afternoon are by Maureen Killoran. Welcome, you who come in need of healing. You who are confused or have been betrayed. Welcome with your problems and your pain. Welcome to your joys and your wanderings. Welcome your need to hope, your longing for assurance. Instead of answers, here may you find safety for all of your questions. Instead of promises, may you find community for the struggles. People with hands and hearts to join you in engaging the challenges and changes of our day. Come, let us worship together. So, if you are new and would like to receive our newsletter or other emails, please talk to a member of the welcome team. They'll raise their hands. You can talk to any of these people if you want more information, or you can look for us at info@lcuu.org. Oh, I was supposed to have you stand, but I think your hand is good enough. I want to take a moment to extend a very warm welcome to everyone who's visiting with us, whether you are visiting with us for the first time or have returned or reconnected with us after a long absence. As we pass the mic, I invite you to say your name and tell us where you're from. If you're on Zoom, please introduce yourself in the chat box and it will be read aloud in the fellowship. We'll start with people in the room. Is there anyone new here that would like to introduce themselves? Just take it over there to her. Sorry, we're just working this out.
We have to stand? No, yeah, so we can see it. Oh, hi, my name is Joan, and I've been here almost 5 months, and it's my first time here.
Oh, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diane, and I've been, we know each other. This is my first time here. My husband visited last week and encouraged me to come this week. I've been in Ahihic since the end of March, and I have 2 therapy dogs that are looking for work.
Thank you. Welcome. Anybody else new here? Oh, wait, I think there's one back there. Oh, you were just waving.
No,
okay,
we were just waving back and forth.
How about Zoom? Do we have anybody, new people on Zoom? Nobody. Just the same old people. Okay.
All right.
Welcome to all, visitors, members, and our friends. Here at LCUUF, each week offers something unique. Reflections from our minister, Reverend Matt Alspaugh, as well as insights from members and guest speakers. We warmly invite you to return and journey with us through this ever-unfolding landscape of thought, spirit, and belief. We now will light the chalice. Our chalice lighting words today are by Sarah Eileen Lawal. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of the flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith with hope to heal a fractured and hurting world. Out of the flames of doubt, we rise to embrace the mystery, wonder, and awe of all there is and all that is yet to be. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, love that celebrates our shared humanity. Out of the flames, we rise. Okay, our chalice is lit. So we now will all sing together. The words should be up on there. Maybe, yes. Okay, somebody needs to start it because I can't sing. Thank you. Celebration for the life that we share. Okay, now each week we come together to lament with, celebrate with, and care for one another in our community. Love is not only at the center of our UU values, it is also the opening that invites us to lament, celebrate, and care as we briefly share our personal joys, sorrows, and milestones. There is power in the sharing as we hold each other in community. Just a sentence or two is enough, and we will start with the folks in the room to give those on Zoom a chance to type joys and sorrows into the chat to be read out loud. As the mic is passed, please share your sorrow, whatever you may be holding that is in need of healing, caring thought, and or your joys, whatever you may be celebrating, whatever evokes within you a feeling of joy, peace, or gladness. And so I'll start. Tomorrow, Gary and I will have been married for 47 years. So that was our big thing. Okay, anybody else have any? Oh, here's one back here, Cheryl.
I'm Sharon, and today is our son-in-law's, we only have one son-in-law, our son-in-law's 61st birthday, and he is at the 7th of 8 weeks of a very horrific cancer treatment. He has a rare cancer, which means that he's taking, the treatment is from the 1960s, because this is the anger piece, that the pharmaceuticals have not done anything to bring it up to targeted kind of work, and he can't swallow, he can't do anything now. So please keep him in your hearts, and at 60 years old, 61 today, that he will go through some healing.
Thank you, Sharon. We will keep him in our hearts. Anybody else?
I'm Larry, and I wanted us to all think of our parishioner, Eric Gloria, who's not been feeling well at all. So we're all wishing him continued recovery.
Okay, I'm Bob Kraft. Share both a joy and a sorrow. The joy is that I committed to membership.
Yay!
And after I sign the big book, I will get a white badge.
Yes, you will.
The next one is mixed. Today is my 9th anniversary to my marriage to, well, let's just say my marriage. That's a happy thing. The sad thing is she moved out about 6 months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which is kind of the occasion for my being here, because it is a refuge.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm Devorah, and I have a great joy that Bravo Theater exists here. Some of us went yesterday to the play, that wasn't a play, to The Comedian, and if laughter takes years off your life, I think I'm now 60.
Anyone else here in the room? Are there any joys? Oh, wait, here's one more.
Hi, everybody. My name is Luisa. And, well, this is a mixture of joy and sorrow because I'm leaving next week to Puebla, well, to Mexico City, in order to take a very important evaluation for my professional and personal growth. And also, I will join with my 10-year-old kid. I haven't seen him since a couple of months. But, well, I also feel sad because I'm leaving this wonderful person next to me, Mrs. Jenny and Mr. David. And, well, I will back in January, but I haven't been able to find someone for be with them, and I'm concerned about them. So please take care of them for a month till I back. And, well, that's what I feel.
Well, thank you for sharing, and buen viaje. Anybody else? Okay, how about Zoom? Is there anyone there that wants to share joys and sorrows?
No, no one on Zoom land today.
Oh, how sad. Okay, we'll move along. Maybe. Okay, let's see. Now we are going to light the candle to represent the joys and sorrows spoken and witnessed today, as well as those we hold in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. Oh, you lit both of them already. Okay, no worries. So they're both lit. Let us share a moment of silence in their honor, please. Okay, now, as you know, the work of our fellowship within these walls and beyond takes our time, treasure, and talents. The offerings we take each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. It is as much a ritual as lighting of our chalice. It is a reminder of that form of love we call generosity. It is how we show that we believe it is important to worship together, to help our community, and say yes to the values of our faith. Please know that we give the money collected at the service, all of it, to an organization providing services to our lakeside community. And for November, yeah, we're still in November, we will be donating the basket to Poco a Poco, which supports youth and women in the San Pedro Itzican and Mezcala area east of us. The description was on the monitor. As we pass the baskets, if you are here new today or you're struggling to hold things together, please just let the basket pass you by. Your presence is more than enough and is a gift to us. The morning offering will now be given and received in the spirit of grateful fellowship. With gratitude, we receive these gifts and dedicate them to the work of this congregation, our shared vision, and the values of our faith. And now we are going to have a stewardship testimonial by Hyacinth.
Thank you. Oh, it is up there. I was a convent schoolgirl who got thrown out of religion class regularly. A little closer. I was a convent schoolgirl who got thrown out of religion class regularly for questioning the Catholic dogma. Back then, we were warned not to examine others' faiths too deeply. That narrowness of thought didn't feel right, but I was, 17. I had no idea what to compare it to. LCUUF changed that for me. I was introduced to the congregation by Reverend Devora in 2022, when I was able to travel back to Ahihic when the pandemic restrictions were lifted. It wasn't a hard sell. But the time I take to be here has given me more than I could ever have expected. What I treasure still about my experiences with this congregation is the authenticity from everyone. We all come to this beautiful place from somewhere else. That could be part of the reason. But in my heart, I believe it is because of the way we are all open-minded. We believe in service and community, no matter what we started off with as children. The ways we care and act align with that. I continue to be impressed with the talents I've seen in action. There's a generosity of spirit here that I have never encountered before. Every service has left me with a message that from wise men and women throughout the ages that continue to resonate in conversations, whether it's over lunch or when I sit on my balcony looking at the lake or when I'm wandering around the town. I began pledging that first year because it meant something to me. I believe that our giving, whether of ourselves as volunteers or as donors, is making a difference. I recently began volunteering with delivering dispenses with Lakeside Food Bank and working with their marketing team. And the need is great. It was very sobering to see how great the need is. But every month we deliver because we donate and we help others, help the members of the community who are in need the most. I'm grateful that I belong to this congregation because LCUUF has opened up opportunities for me to meaningfully put my time, talent, and treasures to work. I have this incredible tribe of friends who welcomed me from the beginning, and that's something I will always take with me, and I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you so much. Okay, our opening hymn is "We Are a Gentle, Angry People." Please rise in body or spirit as you are able and join us in singing. The words will be up here on our pantalla, whatever that is.
Gentle, angry people.
Well, that was okay. Gave us some practice in singing. Now Matt Alspaugh is going to lead us in meditation.
Hi there. So, for some of us, if we do it long enough, one of the benefits of meditation is that we can develop the ability to stay calm even in the midst of craziness and minor tech craziness in the middle of the service, which is what we're dealing with right now. But I'm still pretty relaxed, I think, and I hope to invite you into a space of relaxation and peace and equanimity by doing a little bit of meditation. So this is just a very simple meditation this morning, just a simple time which you can use in your own way for just a few minutes here in the middle of this service. I'll give you just a few points of guidance, which of course you can ignore, and that's perfectly fine. Or if they're helpful, you can listen. So I invite you to just kind of settle into your chair. Find however it is that you are comfortable. This is a little opportunity to kind of explore your body for a moment and just get comodo, get comfortable. To find and relax parts of your body that might be a little tense. You might close your eyes or soften them, however is more comfortable for you. And just turn inward a bit. For many of us, we like to turn to our breath and just notice our breathing. It's one thing that's always there, that breathing, just noticing that. Maybe our minds wander a little bit, and we can come back to the breath. If our minds wander too far away, we might just note to ourselves, oh, thinking, oh, remembering, oh, planning, and set those things aside and return to the breath or return to whatever space our mind might be at that time. And let us return now to be together again. Thank you for meditating with me.
All right, we're going to go right into a reading. Today's reading is a poem, Democracy, by Langston Hughes. Democracy will not come today, this year, nor ever through compromise and fear. I have as much right as the other fellow has to stand on my own 2 feet and own the land. I tire so of hearing people say, let things take their course, tomorrow's another day. I do not need my freedom when I'm dead. I cannot live on tomorrow's bread. Freedom is a strong seed planted in a great need. I live here too. I want freedom just as you. And now we have a video how Ireland transformed democracy with citizens' assemblies.
There is something going on in the world right now. There is a hunger across the globe in political systems to get citizens involved in decision-making and policy development. And citizens want to be involved in this role as well. I'm going to tell you a story about Ireland and its experience with citizens' assemblies.
The level of inclusion and support to people to give their opinions and their values and to share that and for it to be considered and not shot down has been absolutely amazing.
The 100 people that you have in the room have to be representative of your society, all of it.
With the diversity, I've met so many people that I would never have come into my zone before, you know, unless it was in this environment, and it's really fantastic.
Everyone in our country can look into that room and say, I'm there, I'm represented there, that's me.
It's 100 real people, and I really do believe we've represented our country and our future generations really well.
We expose them to enough information and perspectives that they develop an expertise in the subject.
The information you've given me has changed how I see things and how I go about my day, so I'm really thankful for that.
And at the end of that process, then we ask them the question, what will we do about the issue of women's health? So the citizens recommended an abortion regime, and the government, they said, oh, let's see. So the citizens in the room, they voted 67 to 33 for this women's health regime.
I found that we were able to say things that perhaps civil servants couldn't say.
When the question was put to the people of Ireland in a referendum, the result was 66 to 34, which proves two things. One is that room was perfectly representative of the Irish people. And secondly, and perhaps more importantly, the Irish people were much more advanced in their thinking on this particular subject than the politicians were.
I think I'm up next. Well, it's good to be back here. We were trying to work through this yesterday with me on doing this remote. You know, we do these rehearsals on Saturday, and I was remote doing this, and then we ran to get a plane and fly here and hope that we would get here, and it worked out. So it's good to be back. So a few months ago, I was sitting uncomfortably in a crowded and overly warm jury waiting room at the county courthouse in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I was drinking oily, percolated coffee out of a styrofoam cup, staring at my phone like everybody else, and we were waiting to see if we would be called for the day's jury trial, which was a civil dispute on a home construction project that had gone bad. On the one hand, I had lined up my excuse to tell the judge, I'm a minister, I work in Mexico, I have to be back to preach on Sunday, here's my flight information. I really wanted to be excused. On the other hand, I felt like I was shirking my duties as a citizen in a democracy. Not only are we expected to vote in elections, but we are also expected to serve on a jury when we're called, when we're selected at random. Juries are a peculiar part of the democratic process in many countries in the world. Very few court cases actually go to jury trial before a jury, but jury trials remain that last resort step. Jury trials are an attempt to assure that citizens are ultimately involved in court decisions, ordinary citizens are randomly selected to fill this role. There is no pool of trained and certified jurists who make their living hearing court trials. Now, admittedly, that might be more efficient, and it might even be more fair, but we just don't do juries that way. The random selection process used for jury selection is called sortition. And the question I want to explore with you today is, could sortition be used for more than just juries? Could sortition be used for legislative decision-making, for creating and implementing public policy? Now, I hadn't even heard of the word sortition until a few months ago. And this sortition idea that democracy could be better served by assemblies of randomly selected people, it just seemed like nonsense to me, at least at first glance. But in looking at what passes for democracy in many countries today, well, it might just be time for something new. I mean, let's face it, in many parts of the world, democracy is broken. The winner-take-all, first-past-the-post kind of system that we have in the USA has fostered two political parties, each of which is compelled to cater to its base, however extreme, leaving the center unattended. Even in multi-party parliamentary systems in some other countries, some of them are devolving into two or even just one party in regular control. Furthermore, running political campaigns has become increasingly expensive. I am told that in the USA, some representatives in Washington, D.C. spend half their time, sometimes 6 to 8 hours a day, raising money for their campaign, dialing for dollars. So how do they get the work of legislation done? Well, they turn to lobbyists, you guessed it. And sometimes those lobbyists even write the legislation that these folks try to pass. But there is an even more concerning aspect to democracy as it exists today. Who are the people who go into politics? Who are the people who run for election? Who are the people that we elect into office? Well, the research suggests that politicians, maybe not all politicians, but a lot of them, are more likely to be psychopaths than the rest of us. Now, this may not be surprising to you, but more generally, politicians carry the so-called dark triad of personality traits that appear together: psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism. As psychologist Stephen Taylor puts it, I quote, "Dark triad personalities crave power and find powerful positions easy to attain because of their ruthlessness and manipulative skills. Since they lack empathy and conscience, they have no qualms against deceiving and exploiting other people in their rise to the top. Since they are often charismatic and charming, they often gain the support of ordinary people who are impressed by their apparent confidence and decisiveness." End quote. And I'm sure that most of you can name several politicians, prime ministers and presidents, as well as down-ballot politicians in provincial, state, and local government who fit that description. So what to do? So if democracy is, as it is right now, is not working well, what are we to do? Well, we could toss out democracy altogether. It's not inconceivable. A survey last year found that 41% of Americans believe that having a strong leader who does not have to bother with parliament or elections is a very good or a fairly good system. And just earlier this year, another survey found that 33% of American adults agreed, at least somewhat, that having a strong leader for America is more important than having a democracy. This is disturbing data. If democracy is not working well, I'd like to think that there are other options besides authoritarianism, and sortition may be worth a look. But where did this sortition come from? I was surprised to learn that this form of random selection has a deep history. It goes back at least as far back as that cradle of democracy of Athens. While Athens may have had an elected assembly, Athenians did not trust elections. They believed that elections were elitist, aristocratic, and they worried that elections would create a class of career politicians. So the Athenians saw elections as less democratic than simple random selection. As a result, most government positions in Athens, all but 10 out of 6,000 of them, were filled by sortition, with one-year terms. The Athenians even created high technology, well, high tech for their day, to assure that people were fully, truly randomly selected. This sortition machine, called a authoritarian, received brass name tokens with people's names on them to make sure that people were both selected randomly and also that each of the 10 clans of Athens was equally represented. In modern times, sortition has reemerged in the form of citizens' assemblies. These assemblies are particularly useful for taking on those controversial hot potato subjects that politicians, elected leaders are afraid to consider. So we already saw how a citizens' assembly in Ireland was convened to consider a number of issues in 2016. And the first issue that they considered was the abortion issue, truly a hot topic in a Catholic country like Ireland. And as we saw, the assembly recommended changes to the Irish Constitution to permit abortion. And that change passed with 66% of the vote in a national referendum. A more recent example is France, where a citizens' assembly was convened in 2024 to consider euthanasia and other end-of-life issues. This assembly, consisting of 185 people, met for 27 days spread over 4 months. They heard expert testimony from 60 people, including doctors, religious leaders, philosophers, and terminal cancer patients. They ultimately issued a report with 67 recommendations, which were supported by the group at a 92% consensus. The national legislature then voted to approve most of those recommendations. I have one more example, and as a native Texan, it's a little hard for me to wrap my head around this one. As the state of Texas, as you know, being an oil and gas state, produces more renewable energy than any other state in the USA. Now that in itself is pretty surprising, but how they got there is really amazing. In 1995, the Texas legislature passed a law requiring the energy utilities to consult their customers about energy issues. The utilities ending up using what they called deliberative polling. They invited a diverse selection of 260 customers to meet over a 3-day weekend and talk about what they desired most out of their energy providers. And the customers pushed for renewable energy, so the utilities began to move towards renewable energy. And in 1999, the Texas legislature passed a law requiring the use of renewables. So Texas got ahead of the curve, not only in installing wind and solar facilities, but also improving their transmission lines and installing battery storage for the renewable energy. And it all started with a citizens' assembly. So these are just 3 examples of maybe 300 citizens' assemblies and similar bodies that have met worldwide, especially in recent years. This is from 1980 to 2020. So how do these assemblies work best? Democracy Next, which provided that little film clip on Ireland that we saw earlier, suggests there are three aspects. First is random but representative selection. You want to randomly select from your entire population as best you can. But even then, you may need to tweak your selection so that the luck of the draw doesn't end up excluding some group completely. So that in itself is a delicate balance. How much adjustment is needed to be truly inclusive? Secondly, the participants need to be able to deliberate on the question. They need to hear from experts and perhaps call on their own experts as well. They need weeks or months to do this deliberation. Again, a balance, because these people are all volunteers. They're stepping away from their daily life, just as jurors on a trial do. And thirdly, they need to rotate off of the assemblies. Perhaps a new assembly with new people takes up a new issue next year. There are no career assembly members. Now, most modern assemblies have been merely advisory in nature. They advise a legislative body with their recommendations. The only power that they have is a persuasive power as a representative body. But could assemblies have more authority? I can imagine future assemblies that might have the authority to pass laws and change regulations. In my more wild and hopeful imagination, I could even see randomly selected people fill other roles in government. I could even imagine random people appointed as heads of departments or other executive roles. After all, a randomly selected person would be a better pick than many of the politically appointed people, patronage posers that we see in certain governments right now. I don't need to say any more than that, I don't think. And what about the extreme of using sortition to choose the head of the executive branch, the prime minister or the president? I let my mind wander as it plays with that idea too. Maybe with suitable supports and checks and balances it would work. I mean, we've done far, far worse with hereditary selection of kings and with voters being taken in by candidates with dark triad personalities. Our Unitarian Universalist fifth principle affirms the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. This principle speaks to the democratic process, but it doesn't specifically define exactly what that is. And I think that's good, because I'm sure that we have not figured out what a good democratic process actually is. And the more recent set of 7 UUA values includes the value of justice. More specifically, it says, we support the use of inclusive democratic processes. It looks like we have a little bit of a typing problem here, but I'll just read it to you. Inclusive democratic processes to make decisions within our congregations, our association, and society at large. Note that it's pretty similar to the previous one with the addition of the word inclusive. And I think sortition might be one of the most inclusive democratic processes that we can imagine. And then there's a larger spiritual point here. Everyone's voice should be heard. And that needs to go beyond simply ticking some boxes on a ballot in an election booth every other year. Representatives need to be representative of everyone. The democratic system shouldn't unwittingly select representatives who are motivated by selfish dark triad tendencies. We need to experiment with new forms of democracy that are more inclusive. The old systems are not working, so let's try something new. And what might that look like here? I mean, what about this congregation, LCUUF? Now, we've typically not had a lot of big, controversial, internal political and governance issues here. We haven't had the kind of congregational-wide debates and contentious referenda over social justice resolutions that I remember from congregations in my past. But here at LCUUF, we have on occasion had to face big questions. In the past, we've faced questions like whether to hire a minister, yes, whether to build a building, not yet. In the future, I imagine we might consider other questions like, do we want to become a multilingual and multicultural congregation? Do we want to attract younger people and families? And if so, how? None of these are easy questions. But when we face one of these, maybe we might try sortition rather than the old approaches. Maybe we ought to eat our own dog food, as we used to say in the tech world. Maybe we should try the things we propose for others out on ourselves. If we want to see democracy improved, maybe we should try improving it within our own congregation. And by doing that, we not only might make better decisions here, we might learn how to be more inclusive in our governance. In that North Carolina courtroom, the judge and the opposing lawyers went to work randomly selecting, interviewing, and dismissing jurors. Most were dismissed. Ultimately, at around 4:30 in the afternoon, a jury of 12 was impaneled. I considered myself lucky. I was not selected. I did not have to plead to the judge to let me go to Mexico. But I also didn't get a chance to hang out with this random mix of people as they learned the legal details of contracts and modular home construction and building inspections, and then as they decided one way or another on this case. I didn't get a chance to play that particular role in the democratic institutions in the USA. But I can say that even donating a day to that process, with its waiting and its bad coffee, made me feel hopeful for the survival and improvement of democracy in the USA. In the larger sense, I hope that we are willing to make courageous and creative changes to democracy itself. I hope that we're able to make significant corrections that are needed to make democracy work better and to provide justice and inclusion for everyone. Blessed be.
Okay, let's see. Yes. Our closing hymn today is We Would Be One. Please rise, embody your spirit, and join us in singing. Cesar will play, and maybe we can get all the words this time.
Our democracies worldwide are under threat, and what threatens them comes from within. Maybe it is time to defend democracy, not simply by trying to restore it to what it was a decade or a generation ago. Maybe we fix democracy by trying new things, or even by trying very old things, like selecting our legislatures and leaders by lottery. Let us work to make our democracies more inclusive and just for everyone. Let us be one in building for tomorrow a nobler, more democratic world than we have known today.
Okay, let us extinguish our chalice with these words, which we will read together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we keep in our hearts and share with all the world. And our postlude, Cesar is going to play for us something, I don't know, we went right by what it was, but Consolation by Mendelssohn. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Our worship is over. Our service begins. Go in peace and with a purpose.